Good morning, 9 o'clock. Woo! Woo! Percussion, 9 o'clock. All right. It has been enlightening beyond being on the other side of who chose these etudes. That happened to me a lot when I was a teacher. Who chose? So it was very enlightening picking them. It was a balancing act of what ones I needed to avoid that were done, and this one's really difficult, so maybe watch this one, and all that. So it did take a lot of time in submission of one's to pick. On the snare drum, we'll begin with the snare etude. It's from Advanced Snare Drum Studies by Mitchell Peters. It's number 19, pages 38, 39. Let's see. The quarter note is 68 to 76. You're going to play from the beginning to the end. There's some errata notes here. It's pretty simple. Measure 9, second half of the measure should be a 30-second rest, followed by a 30-second note and a 16th note, then 4 30-second notes, second half of the measure. Measure 18, the last note of the measure should be a dotted quarter. This stuff you can probably see and figure out. Just some notes on it. I would say strive for a relaxed grip approach, not to play into the head, get maximum resonance from the drum and sticks. The sticks that I've chosen to use for this are the CL1 Christopher Lamb by Innovative Percussion, and that was for the balance needed and to execute all the different dynamic ranges. Something with not a small bead, so I can get a big full sound up top, and something that was well balanced, and I like the length to get the soft stuff down where it needs to be. Let's see, I have the Evans orchestral head for sensitivity and a bit not too thin to handle the upper dynamic levels without distortion. Let's see. I would say begin the dynamic levels that are wide enough in range and are audibly and physically consistent to be recalled by you. So when you dictate what a forte is, you're going to dictate that forte throughout the piece. Same thing with mezzo fortes, pianos, pianissimos. That's the big one. Because you want to make sure when you come back to the forte that it's exactly what you did before. Yes? Okay. And a good example is at the end of this piece, there's a recap. You want it to sound exactly like it. You want the piano to be noticeable from the pianissimo. Be sure to use the zones of the drum, the height, and feel the difference. You want to feel the difference in the height, the sound, the stick, everything, and get those dynamic levels the same. In measures 26 through 29, I used a skeleton of right hand accents and left hand taps. This left my right hand available to begin the roughs, and I used the sticking on the rough of right, left, right. So right, left, right. Right, left, right for the roughs there. And then the skeleton, you'll see the pattern will be right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. A little bit louder than it needs to be, but just so you can hear it. And then I put the rough in between. Get the idea? Okay? So work on that. Well, that's at least one sticking you can use. Let's see. In measure 44, we have basically you have quarter note rolls there they're not connected, they're separated with the 2 over the top. So in the 6/8, you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and you're going to separate those. You don't want to get up defined ending, so what I used was a right, left, right, right, left, right, and I followed the skeleton of the triplet. So if you just took the triplet, took out the one in between, those two. It seemed to work really well. You could do right, left. You could do that, but for me, it made a little bit more sense to keep the skeleton of the triplet. So we have separation, but not a stop ending. They're just two buzzes. Next one, measure 45. It's just a buzz going. It's not a double. It's not that. It's buzzed. 46. Those are also separated except for the last quarter note roll going to the downbeat of 1 and 47. Okay, it measures 50 and 51. It shows a flam accent and flam tap pattern. So rudimentarily that worked really well. It's pretty quick. So I didn't have time to do so it worked out better to just do flam accent, flam tap. And I started with my left hand so that I could come back out of my right hand, on my right hand, in the middle of measure 51. Okay, measure 53 is the recap of the beginning, so you need to be careful not to accent the flams as done in the previous 3 measures. Okay? It needs to be basically a carbon copy of measure 1. So measure 1 in the piece is no accents on the flams. I mean slighted object, right? So that's what I do at the end. But before the end, we have an accented pattern. So be careful when you go to the next measure in the recap not to think and accidentally accent. There's no accent. I'm a firm believer in the dynamics on the page are what you produce. I don't try to add anything extra, maybe a little bit of musical direction to something, you know, like in the beginning, maybe, but not a noticeable, you know, overdoing the dynamics. Okay, so I'll go ahead and play this for you here. I did two videos, one of a forward take, which showed a better dynamic level because the mic that I had, when it was right on the instrument, boosted up all dynamics, so it's not as dynamic. So I'll do the first one, which is going to be a front view of the snare. All right, there's also, I also have a upper view. I'm looking down at the drum, which if we'll have put up this weekend, probably Monday, over the weekend, we'll put up on TJC Apache Band Facebook page. You can find the videos on there. So it'll have all the videos there. I also plan to do some tutorial videos as time goes, so look for those. If you go back to that Facebook page periodically, then I'll have little snippets that'll break some things down a little bit more for you. And always feel free to contact me if you need to. In the last measure, you have an 8th note rest, a 16th note triplet, 32nd note, a group of 4 notes, and then you have a group of 5 30-seconds. Make sure that on 1 and 2 and on each 8th note there, you're changing that rhythm and not blurring it. So it's not an accelerando. 1, it's not an accelerando. It's 1 triplet and then 2, and then the group of 5 to the downbeat. Okay, make sure that that's really heard. 1. Okay, that you can hear all 3 rhythms. That it's not blurred as an accelerando. Yes? Okay, let's see. Well, I'll answer questions in the hall, I guess, on that. Okay, next one will be the timpani. The timpani etude. Woo! That one was crazy. That one is crazy. Stickings on that one. I'm a very traditionalist in my approach to timpani. I like alternating all the time. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, as most of us do. You know, I try to avoid right, left, right, all the time. But in this one, I tried so many stickings and it was insane. Okay, so if you need help with stickings, please contact me. I'll try. I did an overview shot of it, and you'll hopefully on the Facebook page you'll be able to slow it down, or I'll try to do a slow video. Hopefully the audio won't be, but I'll try to do a slow video so you can see the stickings that I use. Or I could just put up measure blah blah blah. It's this sticking, measure blah blah blah. It's this sticking for you. But let's see. There's a couple lefts and rights that I use. The main ones that might be good for you right now is measure 12, the 5th and 6th, 16th note in that measure. I do a left. I start with my left in the measure. Since it starts on the low drum, left, right, left, right. Brings me here, and then at the end of the measure, I come back, I hit my left hand, and then I do another left on the low drum, rather than cross because of the way you come back. So I do a double left at the very end of measure 12, going to the downbeat of 13. And then on the 6th, 16th note, and 7th of the next measure, which is measure 13, I do a doubled right. It's a different drum, so it kind of masks it a little bit. And then I do a right in the beginning of measure 14. When I go up to the top, right, left, right. And because coming from the left down here, it was too disruptive going that quick to the left to the top. So I do a right, and then begin left on this drum. Otherwise, you would have to go like cross over, and it was ridiculous, and it's at piano. Let's see, other than that, that's the first section. Let me play the first section. I got it divided for you. Let me play the first section for you first. I'll do both views. Here's the front view that has better dynamics. on it, articulated, italic, bold, articulated sound. So what I've chosen on those are just an articulated mallet. It's an innovative percussion, the bamboo. I like the bamboo, it's nice and light, especially for an etude like this. And it's the BT7, so it's a very staccato mallet. The only rough decision was when you had the roll, where those two staccato. But for the price of clarity in the eighth notes as opposed to the smoothing out the roll a little bit, these were the choice I went with on there. Here is the upper view, and you might be able to slow it down in your thing if you record it. Here's the upper view. It's going to be a distorted sound the way the camera is, and it enhances the low end so there's not as much dynamic range. The sticking that I used, I thought it kept me open and didn't really have me do this at those high speeds. But I did try to, percussion friends, I did try to hide the doubles, so it wasn't very apparent. Ooh, that guy's using right, left, right. I tried to hide them or do it a drum to drum so it was sounding different or not in the same spot of a drum. So that's why I chose that. Let's see. Next section of this is measure starting in the end of measure 23. This one I kind of opened up to a right left. I did a right left just because of starting on the low drum, coming across here. Left was nuts. Doing it this way left me. Now I have to cross from my left or go right. So right, left, keeps it open. Right, left, right. Triplet begins with the left down here, dig the dum. And then I do doubles on the piano stuff down here, which crossing like this would be totally insane. So if you need some stickings, please come ask me on this, or I'll be glad to help you. Let me play that. It has some flams here on the drums. Make sure, of course, the grace note is lower than the primary note. And in measure 34. Measure 34 in the middle, I put it on the rada. I crescendo just a little bit to mezzo piano and then back down because it had, you start a piano and then it had a decrescendo, long decrescendo. It's like, really? So, and then when I started to move around all the drums, at piano it just felt like it was naturally coming up anyway, and the decrescendo seemed to happen easier for me, that I had a place to go. So I added just a slight crescendo at the end of the measure during the movement around the drums and all the doublings, and then decrescendos. Watch your counting, measure 36, 37. Watch your counting there. The etude is in 5/8, so you want to get comfortable with 5/8 to begin with. Okay? Be careful not to add an extra one for 6. I'll admit, I recorded and went, did I just get an extra 8 there? So make sure that you are really diligent about counting through that and understand. Okay, here you go. Here's the second section. See what I mean by picking that up a little bit there at the end? You have some places they crescendo too. Also, okay. Here's your top. Sorry about the glare from the timpani heads. Okay, let's see. This etude comes from the Orphelin book. I did not know this one because I had always done things out of the Perc. And they said, oh, pick it out of here. It's so musical. And I thought, great. And I was like, wow, this is really challenging in comparison. So, but great book. It's a studies in copper book. And I forgot to mention it. So, this is etude number 4. Okay. The last section, you'll stop at the end of measure. At the end of measure 52. I know from judging that sometimes judges go, how long this thing is? Let's just chop this portion off. So I kind of did everybody a favor and just did that anyway. Chop the end off anyway. We're going to hear from you everything we need to hear in this first part, believe me. Okay? Next section, this is measure 41 through the end of 52. This has a couple rolls in it. Stickings aren't as difficult here. Let's go ahead and play. Front view. Okay. All right, and the top. Okay? All right. Please do not underestimate the timpani piece. If I were you, I would start working on that one first and right away. Plan your stickings out the best you can. Okay? All right, next. Two mallet piece comes from the Masterpieces for Marimba book. This is pages 10 through 11. This is the sonata, Handel sonata. You're going to play from beginning to end, no repeats. Measure 19, roll the 8th note occurring on the upbeat of count 1. Do not roll the staccato quarter notes on count 3 in measure 20. Measure 38, the last 16th note of count 2 should be a D flat. Please do not hit the D natural. D flat, okay? Okay? And it's not in there, so please be careful, all right? All right, two mallet. Really, the stickings he has in there are actually pretty good and fine. You can use some of your own. On the staccato sort of notes, I just try to pinch a little bit more in the mallet and get a little bit faster strike to the bar, hoping to produce something that's a little bit more staccato. I try to hit I believe every dynamic level is where it should be there. I try never to add dynamics where they're not. Maybe a little bit of a of a lead to the end of a phrase, a touch, but I try not to add anything that's not on the page. I tell my students, and I would suggest this to you as students when you're recording, is if you're listening to somebody play the etude and you wrote it down, would you write exactly what you heard on the page? That's what I would say. So if you start adding some things that aren't on the page, you're not playing the piece of music that the composer intended. Yes? Okay. All right, so here we go. Mallets that chose on that one because I like the sound of rubber cores myself, especially on a 2 mallet. This is the IP240s. Most of you will probably have this in your bag. I would imagine the students. They actually work great. Let's see, the 4-mallet one, the IP503s, Bill Mersch seemed to work really, really well. In the 4-mallet, there is a cut. Got to close this up. There is a, you go from beginning to measure 35. It's Kane from the Mark Ford book. The best thing I would say to you is, comes with a CD, that if you're going to hear Mark Ford play it, that's your version you want to hear. Okay? I will have that up online for you. Visit the TJC Facebook page, Apache Band Facebook page. We'll get those all up. If you're having trouble with that, you need to contact me, please do so. tmcg@tjc.edu. I will be glad to answer whatever questions are within my reach for that. Okay? Thank you very much. Any questions?